Hey everyone, welcome to the EDC for Fun channel. My name is Dennis. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we're going to be looking at the Kubey Royal. So this is a knife that's been out for a little while now, at least a year as far as I know. And this is of course made by Kubey. I love the way they do the pivot there with their KB kind of logo milled into the pivot there. Got another Kubey here. You can see that same style. Looks really good. But this Royal is a front flipper with D2 steel, G10 scales, loop over deep carry pocket clip. We've got an inset liner lock milling on the liners in there, and got an opening hole as well as that front flipper there. And this guy is a CM design, so that's Colin Mason Pierre, same designer who's one half of Devo Knives. And you can see a little bit of family resemblance there, just the kind of overall shape of the handle and the contouring, the opening hole. And this one is what they refer to as basically a top flipper. It's still kind of a front flipper, but it's more on top. And this guy is more of a traditional front flipper with that sharp angle up. I actually would prefer a curved front flipper like this, maybe not as drastic as this, but something more like this. This is the Kaiser Hiccup. You can see the way this guy is rounded, and this guy is absolutely just a dream to flip. Not that this is hard or anything, but with that that sharp angle, it's just every now and again not as comfortable to actuate as this. Not a big deal, but I also think that visually this does look a little bit better. Overall, I mean, this thing is fantastic. I picked it up for $30. You know, other than, you know, that flipper, the only real complaint I have is the pocket clip. It's a deep carry clip. You can see the screws are recessed, but the clip itself is not recessed, which, you know, is not that bad because then you don't get that milled out section on the other side there. But if you have, you know, pants that have a thick hem on the pocket, it is going to get hung up in there. So you do kind of have to force it all the way in there, or otherwise it's just going to get hung up there. So not the end of the world, but I really, at this point, I wish everybody would just move to a wire pocket clip. They just work so much better. I know they leave a lot to be desired visually. Like, this definitely looks cooler than this, but man, this just works so well as compared to this. So yeah, it'd be really cool if everybody just moved over to that wire pocket clip. And there's a lot of aftermarket options. Once you have that wire clip milling in there, you can do a lot of different things. So a couple things I like about it, besides, you know, the overall aesthetic and obviously the price. We've got T8 hardware, and we've got really simple construction. So we've got one body screw there, we got a pivot screw there. Obviously you've got the pocket clip screws, those are T6. But overall, this thing is just really clean. Just has a really nice, appealing design. That was me failing the front flipper there. I went with my thumb, and then you can see I hit my index finger there because I wasn't really paying attention. But it is very easy to actuate, whether you do the old knuck roll or the thumb flip there. I can even actually do this one left-handed. Let's see if I can knuck roll it. Oh, I'm not a lefty, but yeah, there you go. You can definitely do that left-handed, and with it being a liner lock, it's easy to disengage left-handed as well. So yeah, I definitely like the deployment. You've got, as well as the front flipper, you've got that opening hole, which just looks really cool, but also works really well. The only thing it doesn't work well for is the thumb flick. You really have to jam your thumb in there and watch out that the top flipper doesn't hit your knuckle there, but you can do it. It just takes a little bit of extra effort. Or if you just want to slum roll it, if you want to thumb roll it, you can grab it down towards the bottom of the hole there and just glide it right open. You can do it up here, but I find it's easier if you're just doing that slow roll to just do it towards the bottom. Nonetheless, it is fun to actuate, and once that blade is out, I mean, you could tell this just got a really mean look to it. You've got a drop point with this cool swedge on there. We've got flat grind. I do wish it was a little bit thinner. One of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to put a new edge on here. And this factory edge is, you know, probably like, I don't know, 25 degrees or something. I'm going to drop it down to 18, 17, 15, something like that, just to get it to be a little more slicey. I noticed when I was cutting up some hose with this thing, it did struggle a little bit. So that's partially due to the factory edge, you know, not being as sharp as it could be, and also just a little bit thick behind the edge. But I think if I put my edge on there, that'll solve that, no problem. But for ordinary tasks, cardboard, paper, you know, that kind of stuff, this thing is a champ. It, you know, functions really, really well in those areas. So we'll go ahead and do some comparisons. We got the PM2 there. We got the Para 3. And so you can see it is closer in size to the Para 3, although it might be kind of generally smaller, but it does have, you can see, more cutting edge. Actually, the cutting edge is closer in size to the PM2, which is kind of cool. It's nice when you get a knife that's a little bit on the smaller size but has more cutting edge. That's always appreciated. So for cutting edge, we're right around 3 inches. Overall length, we're about 7 3/8. 3.2 ounces. And we'll do a couple other comparisons here. Talked about the Kaiser Hiccup. Here it is next to that. Now this one's got linen micarta, 154 cm steel, but you can see they're about the same size. This one has a button lock. This one, I want to say, was around 80 bucks, something like that. And this, you know, obviously is a fraction of that at $30. There are other versions of this that are $40, $50, $60, somewhere around that arena. But like I said, I saw this one on sale and jumped on that. So there it is next to the Hiccup. Here's that other Kubey we looked at. This is the Doris. And you can see Doris got a much bigger handle, bigger overall. But this is another front flipper that's got one of those hard angles on it and an opening hole. This one has a bit of a choil on there. If you want to choke up, you could. There is no choil on this. You do have a flat spot there. All right, lastly, we'll look at it next to the Devo Buzz here, so we can see got a little bit of family resemblance there. Both of these are designed by Colin Mason Pierre. Obviously this one's Devo, so it was Colin and Kevin, aka Lefty EDC. But with this CM Designs here, you can definitely see the influence, or at least I can anyway. The opening hole's kind of similar, got somewhat similar shape to the handle, the way this comes back here like that. And obviously you got that flat spot. This one's got more of a finger groove. Now we'll go ahead and get this thing torn apart, cleaned out. And we've got that T8 pivot there. I have not taken this thing apart yet, so this will be a learning experience for all of us. And the pivot is one-sided, so I suspect it's captive. Just push that through, comes out of the show side, and we will get this body screw out. It's funny, that had Loctite on it, but there was no resistance at all. All right. It's always interesting doing this on camera. Clean that out. Wow, look at all that milling. Haha, that's dope. I like the way they did that. Very cool. Oh, you don't want to come off. All right, let's, oop, got bearings falling out. What's holding that thing on? There we go. Stop pin's pretty decent size. So we do have ceramic bearings that run in that little track there. And one thing I did want to look at was this lock face here. A couple times when I was throwing this guy into the stump, it did disengage. And what I found afterwards, as I was just kind of flicking it, if I did a really hard spine whack, every now and again it would disengage. Now again, this is not a hard use knife, so I'm not really worried about that. But I was thinking, if is there any, or wondering rather, is there anything up with the lock face? Definitely got a hard angle there, and it was locking up at about 30, I'd say 30%. So we'll look at the lock bar here. Anyhow, we'll get it cleaned up, put back together. Even got some milling there. Yeah, just really thoughtful design there. That's pretty cool. Get some rubbing alcohol. Just start wiping some stuff down. I do like the way they blacked out the liners, and pretty much everything's blacked out. That was a really good choice. Get some more alcohol real quick. So I suspect this guy's going to clean up really nice. It was too pretty when I got it out of the box. I had to go and thrash on it a little bit. Really nice finish on here. It's not like a polished black. It's got a little bit of a black wash to it. So that's going to hide wear really well. Always like to see that. Get these bearing tracks cleaned out. That's good enough. And just wipe that grease out of there. Cool. Wipe our pivot off. Oh, interesting. It is not D-shaped. So it is not a captive pivot. Or is it? No, I don't feel any flat spots on there. Oh, wait a sec. How did I not see that? You've got that channel there. So, oh, wrong one. Wait a second. Ah, there it is. Yeah, doing this stuff on camera is not as easy as it looks. So you can see that little protrusion there matches up with this channel that's milled out. So when this pivot is engaged, it is captive. So that's pretty cool. So you don't need a D-shaped pivot if you do something like that. That's a really cool way to do it. Just get these bearings. Oh, there you are. So just going to wipe them off, and then we'll put a dab of KPL in the track, and we'll be good to go. Little dab there, dab there. And just spin them around a little bit. Rub them between my fingers there. And let's see, we got our show side with our captive pivot. Spin that so it locks in. There we go. And we've got this liner here. And we'll put a dab of KPL there. And the way I'm putting these races is with the closed side towards the blade, the open side out. Drop that bad boy in there. While we're here, might as well look at that with that internal stop pin. Very cool. Very simple, very functional. Gotta like that. Drop this other bearing in here. And so you can see I've got the open side out, closed side towards the blade. And go ahead and just drop a dab there. And I'm gonna put a little bit in the detent hole. Let's see. Make sure we're all together. Yep. Here's our pivot. Snug that down. We'll come back to it in a second. We're going to put this body screw in. Oh, come on, meow. And so you can see I did that whole thing without taking the pocket clip out, which is cool. I like being able to do that. Just simple elegance in simplicity. Gotta love that. Move this KPL out of the way. And move this magnet out of the way. And we'll check our function here. We are locked up rock solid. Doesn't feel like it's binding. And I think we're good to go. Ooh. Let's see if we can adjust that to drop a little bit. Doesn't need to be dropped shut, but I'd like a little bit more fluidity there. There we go. Still rock solid. Excellent. Get this wiped off. Really great looking knife. So I'm going to go ahead and get an edge on here, and we'll take it from there. All right, so I've got it clamped in my work sharp here, and I'm just going to mark my edge so I can see where I'm at, where I'm going. My guess is the factory's at 25 or so, and like I said, I'm going to drop it down and reprofile it to, I'll start at probably 18 and then see what that looks like and work my way from there. Okay, so I'm just doing a rough pass here with my, what is this, 400. Sorry, I'm not going all the way down yet because I just wanted to see where I'm at. And I'm at, you can see 25 degrees right there where that little arrow is. So pretty much as I expected, the factory set at 25, so I'm going to go ahead and drop it. I just did that quick pass. I see that I'm evenly clamped. Everything's coming out even. So I'll go ahead and drop from my 400. I will drop to 220. And these are diamond stones that came with, this is a Worksharp Precision Adjust Elite. So it's got 220 all the way up to 600, and then ceramic, and then the strop. And usually after that, I've got a separate strop that I set up, but nothing crazy. That's about as much as I do, and you'd be surprised how much you can get with that. So anyway, got the 220 in. Gonna go ahead and drop down to, since we're at 25, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna drop to 20. Now, what the hell? I'll go right to 18 and see what that looks like. All right, so we've pretty much got her reprofiled. I went down to 17 after I did 18. Figured I'd go one more, and I didn't want a bigger bevel than that, so I stopped at 17. And yeah, we're at 400. About to switch this guy out and pop in our next series. We're gonna go to 600, and yeah, we'll get this thing wrapped up. I'll probably go 6. I might go 800. We'll see how the 6 goes, and then ceramic and strop to finish up. All right, so we got her all cleaned up. Got a fresh edge on there. And for 30 bucks, man, you cannot go wrong with this guy. Really happy with it. Really fun knife. Really easy to work with. Lots to love. If you've never tried one of these out, I highly recommend it. Is it perfect? Nope. But for under $50, especially this one, $30, there's absolutely a lot to love. With that being said, guys, I want to say thanks for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. God bless you. See you.